Welcome to the second show of the year. Good to see you guys. Good to have you back. Welcome to the trading show where we don't actually trade all the time with the 5-minute charts and whatnot. We actually swing traders and we just show you how to trade, and we just trade and chat about trading and what's going on in the world and so on and so on and so on. Anyway, today I'm going to talk to you about the 50-50 principle again. We're going to talk about the strategy again. And we're going to talk about why people refuse to believe in the 50-50 situation. I'm also going to talk about invalidation areas, because that also seems to be a bone of contention. People seem to struggle with my wording on invalidation area, so I'm going to go into that as well. So how's it, Lincoln? How's it, Kevin? Good to see you guys. Glad you're back on the show. I was thinking about the timing of the show, you know, with the Tuesday being in the morning and the Thursday being in the afternoon on my side. And I've put those times out, well, you know, when I started the show last year, I put it out there with a view to trying to give everybody an opportunity to see it live, because some guys are way out on time. So, for example, Australia, New Zealand, that sort of thing, against America, which is the other side of the time zone. So I'm trying to balance that out. So I'm keeping it like it is for now. And obviously I'm not trading at opening times either, because my belief on opening times, I know a lot of the guys actually like to have their YouTube show, for example, at opening of an index, or opening of the US, opening of the euro. But you guys might want to concentrate on that. You might want to be at the opening of your trading session wherever you are in the world. So I'm trying not to overlap with that, because I'm not actually doing any trading for you at the end of the day. I'm just showing you how to trade. So you might want to be at the opening for your trading session, and for whatever reasons. Anyway, today I took a short on the DAX and it's done nothing. It's literally done nothing. Absolutely nothing. I also put it on that funded trader account as well, just for a little bit of fun. But yeah, it's doing absolutely nothing. So I don't see much happening. The US 500, as I said this morning, for the guys that are watching the trade of the day, you know that the big thing I'm spotting here, somebody actually said to me, why are you showing people head and shoulders? It's such a basic thing. Well, guys, you know, keep it simple. Keep it basic. Why get complicated? Why do people always want to overcomplicate their jobs and do all these overcomplicated things? I mean, what is the point? Just keep it simple, guys. I mean, why make it difficult? Anyway, so yeah, the head and shoulders. There's the shoulder, there's the big head, there's the shoulder. Take note that this little leg here didn't break the shoulder, which is of concern. So that head and shoulders is still valid if this comes down below it. So I've actually put in a trade idea that at around 58, if it crosses this 58, maybe the 58.10, we're looking at a serious short trade on the US 500. But that said, my call on the US 500 for the year is long. So I'm going to talk a little bit about investing as well, because it's important to understand that investing is what's going to make you the money at the end of the day. Vivian, hi. Rob, found your channel last week and subscribed. Glad to be here during a live session. Welcome, Vivian. Welcome to the community. I'm sure we're all going to be really pleased to have you here. We try to help each other as well. If I'm not available, just ask. I'm sure the other guys will also answer on comments and things like that. The guys are starting to become more assured with their way of trading and our way of trading, and how we do things with the strategy and that sort of thing. And it's great to build a nice community where everyone can help everyone. And I'm trying to achieve that goal. Right, so make the adjustment. Market close, Jimny Quarter. Market close, Jimny Quarter. Not quite sure of your comment there. 360 building passes. Good day, Rob, from raining Brisbane. Is it raining in Brisbane? Oh, goodness me. You know, we've got nice weather here in Cape Town. It's summer for us, and I can tell you February and March is our hottest months. So we're going into our hottest time. But that said, Cape Town is the most amazing place. We have the most amazing average temperature throughout the year. I would say our average temperature throughout the year is 24 degrees Celsius. I mean, we hit days that are 32 and we hit days that are 8, 10, 15 degrees Celsius. But in all, throughout the year, we really live in a good climate at the end of the day. I have lived in the north, this is Africa. I have lived further north, and there, I mean, I sat in temperatures of 45 degrees Celsius, and sometimes, I once measured the car park temperature. It was like 67 degrees Celsius or something like that, and it felt like my shoes were melting on the tar. Up there, that is, not down here. So living down here, absolutely marvelous. Temperatures here are brilliant. And look, for us, it rains through the winter as well here, whereas in the northern towns in South Africa, it's more in the summer that it rains. We get the tropical storms up there. Down here, we get more of a wintry fine rain, and we don't have those thunderstorms and hail and what have you. Hi, Elaine. Good to have you again. Welcome from Ben from Melbourne, Australia. Welcome. Lincoln, Jimmy Carter, America closed their markets today as a day of mourning. Did they? Okay. All right. I didn't even notice. I wasn't checking. Okay, that's interesting. Vivian, oh, Rob, you're a fellow Cape Townian. That is great. Lovely day in Cape Town today. Yes, I am. Totally. I'm so Cape Townian. It's unbelievable. Hey, Rob, what's your biggest win on a single trade this far? I would say around $50,000. Somewhere there has been a pretty good one for me. And then, is it safe in Cape Town? Much crime. It's safer in Cape Town than anywhere else in South Africa. I have to say, I have lived in the other towns in South Africa in the past and felt very, very uncomfortable. And even when I'm traveling through them, I feel very, very uncomfortable. I actually drove through one town in Mpumalanga, as they call it, and I actually watched them pick up a guy and turn him upside down and shake him so that everything would fall out of his pockets. And I had the kids in my car in those days because my kids have left home now, but it was back then. It was maybe about 15 years ago, maybe longer. And I had to drive away because I couldn't risk it. But yeah, those towns are pretty tricky. But Cape Town, it's amazingly safe. Unless, of course, you go into the more rougher areas, which it's more like anywhere in the world. You get these areas like gangland and, drug gangs and things like that. And, if you get caught in between a shooter or something, could be pretty dangerous. And some of those places are pretty tricky to be in. But if you drive through them or drive past them or whatever the case, which I've done by mistake on numerous occasions, they leave you alone because they know you've got really nothing to do with them. But don't get yourself caught up in a mess, Lincoln is correct. The 500 is closing early. Okay, that's okay, Kev. Yeah, all right. I like I said, I don't really look at the news that much, and there isn't anything here telling me they're going to close. I didn't even know. Coffee again. Sorry, guys. You know me and my coffee. Okay. Yeah, what's on the news? Oh, yeah, the Fed, all about their fewer rate cuts in 2025. And that is going to affect the markets, guys, the fewer rate cuts in 2025, which is why I see this head and shoulders. I see this big red candle that occurred just before Christmas. I'm thinking, are these guys going to come back into the market and try and just sell us off a bit down to the 56, 5,500 and then bring it back up again? I think we'll finish on 66 to 7,000 on the US 500 this year. But there's going to be some ups and downs, particularly with this, no interest rate cuts and things like that. That is going to be tricky. But if the US 500 is closing early today, yeah, it's not going to be much of a day then. It's not going to be worth much of a trading day. Like I say, well, I got the short on the DAX, at least that. Brent, I thought it would do a little bit more. It's broken through that trend support and it's gone back up to retest it. So will it carry on down? But my big concern for this trade, and I did say it in the video this morning as well, is you've got this major resistance level that we've taken off the day. this major serious resistance level that it broke through, and it's now become support. So if you now take this trade out of that breakthrough of that support, you're basically bouncing up against this, which is, there's really a lot of risk here. So I would rather it had broken through somewhere down here at this level, but here I'm not comfortable with a short. I would have been comfortable with a long trade, but the short trade is really worrying me in this area. And if that's the case, then you rather don't take the trade. It's not worth it. It's just not worth the trouble. The Euro US dollar is pretty short. Great British Pound US dollar is pretty short. Look at the pound. It seems the UK is having a bit of a hard time. So, yeah, that looks like it's going to continue on falling. And this has been a great result of that. Okay, you know, this has been teetering around, doing absolutely nothing for such a long time. And then it does that. So there you go. If you guessed the right way, wonderful. If you didn't, you know, I wasn't in the trade, because when it's in the middle like that, I don't know which way it's going to go. So yeah, but if you'd caught it, that would have been great. And I wasn't looking. US dollar, Canadian dollar, as I said this morning as well. You know, I looked at this and you know, the Trudeau, the Prime Minister has said he's resigning and all that. Doesn't seem to have had much effect at all. The Canadian, US dollar, Canadian dollar is sitting in that range, and it's going up, it's bullish, and it's bouncing off the trend support, bouncing off the trend resistance, and it just keeps on going up. At the moment, there is a bit of a flag pattern that's developed here. So we'll just see if it breaks out of that flag pattern and goes to the upside. Hi, Andrew. If I haven't seen you yet, Happy New Year. Yep, totally. It's the second show of the year. So number 2, here we go. And hello, Rob. Wish you a great, successful 2000. Stay healthy, and greetings from Germany. Stefan, hey. Greetings, Chana. Happy New Year. Hope you have a good year as well. Tim, good morning, Rob from Wisconsin, USA. Hey. Welcome, Tim. Welcome. Good to have you on board. Wendy, good to have you back, and Happy New Year. Yeah, I think I have said Happy New Year to you as well before, but hey, Happy New Year again. Yeah, it's second show. It's amazing. Anyway, you know, a lot of guys wanted to talk to me, or have been complaining to me about the 50-50. Guys that don't know me, you guys that know me, you know the 50-50. You understand it. You figured it out. Now, there's a lot of guys that can't grasp it or get their heads around it. So we'll talk about it a little bit, because it's important to understand. And then I'm also going to just go into the invalidation areas, because that seems to be a bone of contention as well. People don't seem to quite grasp the invalidation areas. Now, a lot of people are refusing to believe that the market's a 50-50 game. And I'll tell you why. It's mainly because, yeah, this is Bitcoin, by the way, which is corrected nicely, hasn't it? Just to get off the subject. But anyway, the main reason people don't believe that the market is a 50-50 game is mainly because most people believe that all the money's made on here, on this squiggly line, on this candle, on this support, on this resistance. Everybody believes the money's made here. It's because they don't understand that that's not where the money's made. The money's made by human beings. There's human beings in the market, and that's what people are struggling to grasp. Hi, how's it from Sweden? Hey, welcome, good to have you. And as I say, it's really interesting that so many people can't grasp that you're not making money off of a computer screen. It's human beings. You know, a couple of guys have said to me, you know, the way the market's made up and the maths behind it and the ups and the downs, and if you put the stop this way and put the stop that way and all the rest of it. Now, with the 50-50, what you've got to figure out is, for example, a lot of guys will say to me, hey, Rob, pros don't have stop loss, and I've said it in my video as well. And I just thought I'd bring this up again. And there's a reason that pros, and I'm not a pro, I'm a 30-year retail trader, I'm a retail trader, right? I'm not a pro. Morgan Stanley's not going to employ me, or whatever the case, you know. I work for myself, and I always have. So these guys that work for these big institutions, and they're the pro traders, and believe me, they don't think much of you, and they don't think much of me, or any of us for that matter. They think the sun shines out of anyway, and they don't use stop loss, because how can you put a stop loss in place when you're trading with hundreds of thousands of shares or contracts or points or whatever the case? Because you need liquidity. To buy that amount of shares, you need liquidity. So this is like, I'm just bringing this up with the 50-50 so that you can understand that there's someone out there with a bag of money that wants to buy something, and to buy that thing or to sell that thing, they need sellers and they need buyers. They need liquidity. That's what liquidity is. It's other people that are prepared to buy that from you. So, yeah, Kevin, that's exactly it. You know, that the pros are dealing with huge sums, okay? So they can't put a stop loss on a computer screen and say, oh, that's my stop. They can't do that. They will have some form of risk management, okay? But the way they manage their risk is completely different to the way you manage your risk, because your 50 shares or your 5,000 shares to them is really Mickey Mouse. So you can click a button and boom, it's done. The deal's done. They can't. I mean, they got to really search out those buyers if they're selling, or those sellers if they're buying. And that's why they say they're hunting your stops. That's why people think that the algorithm's hunting your stops, or someone's out there to get you. Really, guys, they don't give a damn about you. They don't even respect you. They don't think anything of you. All they care about is there some money there, and I need that money so that I can buy the stock, so that I can go to my boss and say, look, I bought the stock. There you go. So understand that it's a human being behind the market. If you want to buy anything, someone's got to be selling it. If you want to sell anything, you need someone to buy it. Whether it be a stock, whether it be a car, it doesn't matter. You can't just buy it out of fresh air. It doesn't fall out of some algorithm. It doesn't fall out of some candle or some chart. There's a real person that's selling it to you. Now, why is the market 50-50? Because that guy that I went on a course with told me that I'm going to have a 70% win rate, or I'm going to have an 80 or 90% win rate. And you guys know what I think of a win rate. So, a win rate's not going to make you money. Same as a chart's not going to make you money. The whole point here is that everybody in the market, every single trader in the market, whether he's a pro, whether he's a retail trader, it doesn't matter. You don't get in the market to make a loss. Nobody gets in the market just because they get in the market. We don't do this for fun. We do this to make money. Yes, it is fun sometimes, but come on, you do it to make money. You're not expecting to make a loss now, are you? So now you get into the market and you believe you're going to have a 7 out of 10 win rate. Guess what? Every other trader that you're trading against, just by the way, you're trading against them because they're selling to you and you're buying from them and so on. They believe the same thing, if not better. None of them believe they're only going to win 3 trades out of 10. They all believe they're going to win more than half. So unless you're me and you understand that you're only going to win half your trades, then you start to understand the odds a hell of a lot better. Because everybody wants to win. Now, if you look at a 50-50 scenario and you look at the strategy that we've put in place and you understand that there's so many people in the market that everybody wants to win and that the market is a 50-50 game, then you understand the strategy that much better as to why we risk the same amount on every single trade we take. The strategy that we always go over that says risk the same amount on every single trade you take so that you can make more on your wins. So if you're risking $1,000 per trade, then you know that you need to make $2,000 on your wins so that you can be profitable at the end of the day. The thing is to make those profit targets achievable. it must be an achievable target. For example, you take this DAX trade and you say, okay, we've got it. Okay, so look, it doesn't have to be spot on. It's $900. Okay, that was the best I could do with this trade, right? And it's close enough as long as it's in that vicinity, right? And this take profit level is here. It's achievable. But let's be in all honesty, if it gets down to this 196 level, which is above that, I'll have my stop loss all the way down here already, as you know how the system works. So I'll still take that profit, which is also pretty good, by the way. And if it gets all the way down to here, which is achievable, because it could get down to 190 down here, then that's great. So, you know, that's kind of how you're looking at managing your risk. Now, an invalidation area, and somebody asked me about this, what's an invalidation area? An invalidation area is your stop loss. So I like the stop loss, but it doesn't work that nice all the time because the afternoons the market go very bad before it goes the direction it should. Then my stop loss kicks out. Cobus, you need to watch this next bit, okay? Really important that you watch this next bit, because now I'm going to go over the reason for your stop loss, okay? Your stop loss has to be there because you're not going to make money if you're just trying to make money off these lines, and if you're just trying to make money out of a system. There's a difference between a system and a strategy. Now, you'll go to my videos, and at the back end of every single one of my, especially my last 50 videos, you'll see that I tell you about the strategy, the main strategy to trading. You know, risk 1% of your account, risk so much per trade, keep the risk the same. So on this account, for example, we risk $1,000 per trade. It doesn't have to be exact. Like I said, this is 900. It's okay. Now, the way we work with a stop loss is the size of the trade is determined by your stop loss. We want to have an entry point of a short at this level, which it was 203. It's now 203.18, and we're losing. That's fine. Now, I will determine that this trade is invalid at 206. It's above those highs, and it's, as far as I'm concerned, at that level, pretty much heading on up to probably 210, maybe 211. It's going. If it gets past this level, there's nothing telling me to go short. Everything tells me it's going long if it gets to that level. So my stop loss goes to 206. Then I say, because that's now an invalidation area. So now that invalidation area becomes my stop loss. Then what I do is I say, all right, how much is $1,000 back to my cost? How many contracts can I buy? I work out that I can buy 3 on this particular account. I can buy 3, sell 3 contracts, and it makes up 900. I couldn't do 3.5. So there you go. It's 900. 3 contracts. It's close enough. That's all I care about, is that it's between 900 and 1,100. Then I know I'm in that range. Okay, and as the less loss I can take, the better. I want more wins. Then I'm looking down here. What kind of profit can I take off of this trade? And I'm looking at, I could probably reach 194, and that would be an achievable profit on this particular trade. So how does that look on risk to reward? I'll make 2,800 if it makes it, and I'll lose 900 if I lose it. Every single trade is around $1,000. It's going to cost me on loss. If this goes into a profit, I'll move that up to break even. If it goes even more into a profit, I'll move it into profit so that I don't take that loss. That's how you work your trades. That's how you work your stop loss. If you don't work with this strategy, the chances of you making money are 0. You're not going to make money because a win rate doesn't make you money. All a win rate, and that's what you get from this high probability system. A high probability system is, for example, what we use here, where we've got our resistance, we've got our support. I changed the charts because the other stuff's in the way. There's a resistance, there's a support that we've taken, there's a trend, what was a trend support, and it's now a trend resistance because of that. And now you can draw another trend resistance in over there. If it breaks through that, you know the story, okay? This is a system. It's a high probability system. You might be using a completely different high probability system. I don't know. You might be using MACD, moving average crossover divergence. You might be using stochastic. You might be using a moving average crossover system. You might be using Fibonacci. There's a number of systems that you could be using, but they're all systems that will give you a win rate. But the trouble with a win rate is I can have a win rate on any single system that I'm using, and I can win 8 trades out of 10. I can win 9 trades out of 10. I can win 7 trades out of 10. But how much am I winning on each trade? How much am I actually winning on each trade? Is there a plan? Is there a target? Okay. How much am I losing on each trade? And this is where the point comes in. If I win 9 trades and I win $100 on each trade, that's $900, and I think I'm the bee's knees because I've won 9 trades in a row. 10th trade comes along, and I know this is how you're going to work, because if you're taking trades like that, this is normally what happens, and it's the high probability of what happens. Most people can't control themselves, and it goes into a loss. So you're quite confident in that trade because you've won the last 9 trades anyway. So you're quite confident. Goes $100 into loss, and you're like, it's okay, I'll hold on to that. And then it goes $500 into loss. You're like, okay, I'll average down, I'll dollar cost average. And then it goes down, it goes down. Eventually you lose $2,000, and you think, I can't take any more of this, and you get out. So you've just won 9 trades that won you $900, and you've just lost 1 trade that cost you $2,000. I guarantee you this is what's going to happen. I know how it happens. That gives you a net loss of $1,100, but you've got a win rate of 9 out of 10. So it doesn't really compute, does it? That's why I don't believe in a win rate, and that's why I say this is just a high probability system. So what you've got to do with your high probability system is use it the way I just told you. Where were we? Where did we have a trade here? Okay. So use it the way I just told you. Manage your risk. Keep your risk the same on every single trade. Doesn't matter which one. Don't go and have preferences. Don't go and say, I'm going to trade more on the US 500 and I'm going to trade less on the France 40, or I'm going to trade less on the Euro US dollar because I don't like the Euro US dollar, but I like the DAX, so I'm going to trade loads on the DAX. No, don't do that, because then you're going to lose. The whole point here is to make more on your wins and less on your losses. You're going to lose. You are going to lose 5 out of 10 of your trades. It's just, that's why I've just told you the markets are 50-50, and it's so much flack for that. But once those people have been in the market as long as I have, and then they understand that they're trading against human beings and it's buy and sell, then maybe the light bulb will come on. It takes a while for that to come on, let me tell you, because all people see is lines. All people see is the system. All people see is algorithms and bots and, my goodness, all this stuff. They don't see the picture. You know, for you to see the picture, if you ever get a chance to do so, go to the trading floor in your country. In my case, it'd be the JSE. In your case, in America, it might be the Dow. You know, whatever the case, whichever country you're in. See if you can get an invite or a tour onto the trading floor. And that might just switch the light bulb on. Maybe that will tell you, oh, hang on, trading's a 50-50 game. Because then you'll see the trades taking place real time. And that might wake you up. That might just give you that, oh, I see it now. Okay? Because all you're seeing is your computer screen or your phone or whatever the case, or some guy showing you his phone, look at the profits I made, or whatever the case, and going on about how much you can make on a system or whatever the case. And as I've said to you, one of the most amazing things in the markets is you can put 2 traders of the same level of knowledge in the market in the same room trading the same product, and you'll achieve two completely different results. And it's simply because it's all about the psychology and the way they approach the trades. And that's what makes a market. That's what makes a market. That's why a market is 50-50. That's why there are people selling and there are people buying, because they've got opposing views as to whether it's a sell or a buy. That's how it works. So yeah, I had to go over that, and I'm sure I'm still going to get loads more flack on the 50-50 and the invalidations and all the rest of it. But you have to use the strategy. It's all about the strategy. So what I've done for you guys is I've actually made you a video for tomorrow dedicated on the strategy. There's no charts on it, just the strategy, okay, that we just went over now. So I hope I'm not boring you guys too much with it, but once the light bulb switches on, and once you get the strategy, it's going to make such a difference to you. It's gonna make you more comfortable. One of the things that I haven't really harped on with you guys as well is, what's also important to understand and know is trade within your means. Trade what you can afford. In other words, if you can't walk away from your computer screen after you've taken a trade, if you can't go to sleep at night and leave a trade overnight, if you can't walk away without constantly checking back on your trade, look, I know when you first start trading, you're going to do that anyway. Whether you've got $1 in there or $1 million in there, it's not going to make much difference because you're new to it and it's exciting, okay? But if you've been doing it for a while and you find yourself stressing about your trade, sweating over your trade after you've been doing it for a while, then you're trading too much. Trading too much. And that's not a good idea. Trade within your means, because you are going to take losses, and you've got to be able to not only handle those losses, but psychologically get over them. Okay? And it's got to be small enough for you to say, that's okay, I'll get it back. It's all right. If it's too big, if it's too much, and if it's taken too much of a chunk out of your life, then it's too much. You're not sleeping well. It's not good for you. You really, really, really shouldn't be trading that amount. So just keep that in mind as well. It's not something that I go over often enough, and it's something that you should concern yourselves with. Just by the way. Susan, how's it? Yeah, Rob, thanks for sharing with us. I learn a lot to look at your videos. Yeah, no, do you just keep on watching those videos? And as I say, tomorrow's video is really dedicated to strategy, not system, because this is a high probability system. So what have I done here with this high probability system is I've taken a trade based on the high probability system, understanding that there's a 50-50 chance that it could go wrong or it could go right. And at the moment, it's against me, but this afternoon it could turn around and go the other way, or tomorrow morning, or whatever the case. What I do with a trade like this, I take the trade and walk away. Walk away, come back and check it later. If it's in the right place, I'll move things, to suit myself. Like if I need to move the stop loss to break even or whatever the case, I'll do that. The funny thing is, whenever you take a trade on that particular day or that particular time or whatever, it has the inevitability of going against you. And then you panic, you get out, and especially if you've got too much traded into it, and then it goes in the direction you wanted it to in the first place. I once had a guy tell me, when you want to take a trade, where do you want to put your stop loss? I said, no, I want to put my stop loss there. Okay, wait for the price to get there and then take your trade from there. And yeah, it did actually work a few times. What it did teach me, what it taught me is to look for invalidation areas. What it taught me is don't just put a stop loss for the sake of putting a stop loss. Look for an area of invalidation, which is way beyond that area where you would have put your stop loss, and you could have taken the trade from there, and it saves your stop loss from getting taken out. So that was Gregory, I think, Gerbers. That, I hope that will help you with your stop loss dilemma as well. How's it, Eugene? Welcome. Good to have you on board again. Good to have you back. You mentioned your comments were disappearing. We must figure out why that is. I think yours is the only one, but okay. I don't know why. That's sometimes, maybe it's YouTube, maybe it's software, maybe it's the laptop. I don't know. Okay, correct. I'm in the same position. It's quite new. Okay, Lincoln, I trade with a very small amount of money because I'm new. As I see it, a man can move a mountain, but starts by moving a single stone. Here's the thing, guys. For Kevin as well, and Susan, all of you. Okay, I presume a lot of you guys are actually probably quite new to trading, because once you become pros, you'll be off on your own and doing your thing, and hopefully you'll hang around. But at the end of the day, it does take time to learn to trade, and unfortunately, there is a lot of people that will tell you can learn to trade in a week. The thing is, they're not really lying to you, because at the end of the day, these high probability systems, let's be perfectly honest, a primary school kid could learn how to trade a squiggly line or follow a system or whatever the case. What trading is about, though, is the ability to actually do it, the ability to follow the system, and the ability to manage it. The strategy is where the difficult part comes in. And let me tell you, and I don't want to disappoint any of you or make you worry or anything, but I can tell you it's going to take most of you at least 2 years to become profitable on trading. It's not easy. It's not straightforward. And it's, while it seems straightforward, it is a career, and you have to learn how to do it. Okay, so bear with me on this. It's, there's a lot of guys that will lie to you about it and tell you can learn it in a day and you can do this, and rubbish. You can just do it. Trade the 5-minute charts and make money quickly, and just do this, just do that. It's not that simple, because there's a person behind it that's taking the trades. There's a psychology behind it that takes the trades, and everybody's personality is different. So everybody takes the trades different. So even if you try and carbon copy what I do, if you try and carbon copy my trading, my system, there's a possibility you get it wrong, because you'll trade it a different way. You'll get out at different times. You'll get in at different times. It doesn't work. And you just have to learn a way around it, a way around, like, for example, you might take my system and you might take someone else's and you might take another oak's information, and you might find a way that sort of works for you, that suits your trading. Or even if you only use my information, you might find a way to structure it in such a way that it's actually going to work for you, that it's going to suit the way you trade, the time you trade, the way you want to trade, your fear capabilities, your financial capabilities, all these different things, your psychology, how you handle losses, all these different types of things. You'll work it out for yourself, and that's the only way to effectively trade properly. And practice makes perfect. Start small, grow it up, and that's, like you say, you start small. You're comfortable with that, and when you're comfortable with that, then you can take it up a little bit. You're like, okay, and I'll start with $50, and maybe I'll be comfortable with 75, and then I'll be comfortable with 100. And as you grow, you'll get more and more comfortable with bigger numbers and bigger figures. But like I say, you have to be comfortable with it. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem. And one of the biggest enemies of a trader is being uncomfortable with the trade that they're in. Because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to think straight. The brain's a funny thing, guys. And that's why I'm trying to tell you guys that it's not about the lines. It's all up here. The brain's a funny thing. And I can tell you, if you're taking a horrible loss and it's too big for you, you are not going to think straight. You might take, believe me, everyone's done it. like on a situation like this, you might end up taking 4 or 5 trades to get your money back, trying in the same day, in the same trade. It'll go down, you'll take a trade out, and it'll go back up, you'll take another trade, go back down, you'll take another trade, and you just, it'll hurt you because you won't think straight because you trade too big. So there's Eugene saying 90% of traders blow their account in 90 days. Wow, it's taking me 30 years and I still haven't blown an account. But anyway, I'll still be around, Rob, as I'm not here to learn from you, but actually enjoy listening to you a lot. Kevin, that's great. Thank you. At least we'll be buddies in the end and we'll be hanging out and it'll be great when you're a pro. Okay, and I have a chuckle now and then too. Great stuff. Eugene, 90% of traders blow their account. Hey, David, good to have you back. Good afternoon. Welcome. Welcome back. Yeah. Susan, yes, because of greedy. You're right, Susan. It is greed. It's got a lot to do with greed. The reason guys trade too big, because, you know, when they get into the trade and they take that big trade, it's because they believe that they're going to make a gargantuan win because they're going to win. And then when they lose, they can't believe it. And then they don't want to get out of the loss because they're losing. And then they hold on to the loss and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And then they become one of those statistics where 90% of the traders blow their accounts in 90 days. Right. Okay. Yeah, you know, if you're more sane about your trading, and I think Kevin, in a big way, Kevin came here, and I think that may have helped you as well. Keep your account unblown. Yeah, new traders, that is, Rob. Okay. Yeah, no, I know you're talking about new traders, Eugene, obviously new traders. Older traders, you know, they won't blow their account that easily because they've been there, done that, sold the t-shirt. Many of them did blow their accounts a few times. Some of them still boast that they do it from time to time. And that's fine, you know. I'll change my name to Mr. Simpson once I'm successful. Yeah, good idea. There you go, Kevin. Where's Mr. Wilson, by the way? I'm missing Mr. Wilson. What happened to him? Do you guys remember Mr. Wilson? He was here last year. Where is he now? Come on, are you here? If you're here, you've got to make a chat comment. You have to. We want to speak to you, man. Yeah. See if you're still trading. Okay, hopefully you haven't blown your account in 90 days, Mr. Wilson, and you're still here. Right, let's see. Okay, where was I? I've actually lost track completely of where I was. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting year, guys, because from what I can see, geopolitics might play a big part in it, and I don't want to get political about anything, but there's a lot of things going on that could make it very interesting for us. Okay, investing. Kobus, that's actually, you put me right back on track. I wanted to talk to you guys about investing. Investing. Okay, if people listen, they'll know when someone knows what they're talking about. I followed your markups and they're pretty accurate. Good, that's great, Wendy. Fantastic. You know, actually, Wendy, I actually don't mind. You know, some people try and, especially on YouTube, try and insult other traders and carry on and whatnot and say this and say that because they want theirs to be better and what have you, and I don't do that. I actually don't mind if people, whether people believe it or not, or whether they like it or not, or whether it suits them or not. If it doesn't suit them, they can go and watch someone else, and if it does suit them, stick around and enjoy yourself and learn something. You know, that's why I say with the 50-50 thing, I get a lot of flack about that, but I do try for the want of wanting people to understand it. I really want them to understand it, and I feel bad for the guys who don't, and I feel bad for the guys when they, you know, when they get arrogant about it, or, you know, and they, that's not true and all the rest of it and what have you. And and I really want them to understand the policy behind it. But anyway, that's just human nature, and it's unfortunate that some people just aren't interested in gathering information and using it to their benefit. They would rather just diss the information and not understand it. Please keep us updated on your ongoing impressions of funded trader markets. I'm still trying to form an opinion on it, wondering if I should try it once I'm confident, pass on the evaluation. Look, Lincoln, I took it on, okay, and I've got it here. And yes, there's a link to it in the description and all that, and they are there. But what I will tell you guys, and the reason I did it is because there's a lot of guys that want to do the funded trader thing. And I understand why, because it's promoted to you as you can trade a $25,000 account, $100,000 account, and then they'll pay you and all the rest of it. And I get that. It's great. All right. But at the end of the day, if you've got, and I don't want to, you know, how can I put this without being bad to funded trader markets or anyone else in the funded trader space? Okay. If you want funded trader, you can go that way. But what I'm saying is, if you just took, say, if you were going to have a $25,000 account, let's say you were going to have a $25,000 account like this one, and that we've got here. This is funded trader accounts that I play around with. Okay, still a challenge, but anyway, I don't even follow it much because I'm so busy with other stuff. But okay, that's fine. Let's say you wanted to have a $25,000 funded trader account. You would only be allowed to lose $2,500 overall, and you'd only be allowed to lose $1,000 in a day, which restricts you to, say, taking 3 trades at any one time for $250 stop loss so that you don't lose the account in one day. And it prevents you from taking 10 trades. If you take 2,500, if you've got it, and you just put it in an account, a cash account, and trade it the same way you would trade the $25,000 funded account so that you don't lose the account. In other words, risk $250 per trade and make sure you don't lose more than $1,000 in a day. You might actually grow that $2,500 account. You might actually grow it, or you'll lose it. The difference being that you would have paid $2,500 for the account, whereas you could have bought the funded account for, I think, $100 and something, $150 or something. So there is that disparity, but I prefer to have a cash account in the sense that I can get my cash whenever I want. I can do whatever I want with it, and I got my own rules and all the rest of it. So yeah, I'm not against it at all. I'm all for it. It's great that they come out with these things. Do I trust them all? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't trust any of them. But then that's just me. I have this challenge account that we haven't really done anything with, but it's there, you know, and it's a bit of fun. But further than that, I'd rather trade my own cash. And why would I bother too much with a funded trader account when you've got cash in an account? So, yeah, like I say, if you can afford to, put some cash in and trade it the same way. You'll be better off. You can withdraw your money whenever you want, not once a month. You can do whatever you want with it and all the rest of it. So, yeah, it's pros and cons. End of the day, it's pros and cons. So the only reason I took the funded trader account was actually because of this channel, and actually because the guys were going on at me about funded accounts that I actually knew nothing about them. Well, not nothing, but not enough. Now I know everything about them. Not everything, but I know a lot about them. I know more about them. I understand them better, and okay, that's great. That's all I wanted from it at the end of the day. Anyway, I thought I'd either win the account or lose the account very quickly, and I've still got the account. We'll just hang on to it until it disappears or grows or does something. We'll see. Okay, so I'm not too worried about it. It's not doing much, and I don't trade it much. So the thing is, I don't really open it when you guys are not around, and or once or twice here and there. So I concentrate on what I need to concentrate on, which is the real money. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. Trust no one. And we're all getting into the swing of things. I use the funded account to grow my personal account and then just concentrate on my own funds. Yeah, there you go, Vivian. You see, everybody's got their own thought on it. And I'm actually at that point where I don't think we're even going to need it much anymore. I'm not even going to bother with it too much or whatever the case. If anybody needs one, there's a link there. You can go and the reason I like those guys is because they allowed you to trade over the weekend, allow you to trade the news, they allow you to trade your own system, they allowed you to hold overnight. There's a whole bunch of good things. So, I was quite happy with that. Their rules were quite relaxed. A lot of these other guys have got some major stringent rules, let me tell you. Anyway, back to investing, because I've really gone off the track now and forgot about the investing. Okay, so what I meant with investing, and I think it was Corbus that brought it up. You spoke the other day about investing trade. Do you read the market the same way on a daily, not 4 hours? So my first answer to the question on investing is no. I do not read the chart in the same way with investing. In fact, and you guys are going to love this, I don't read the chart at all with investing. I don't bother with a chart. I'll look at a chart and see what it's doing. Is it a reasonable level? Is it not? Whatever the case. The way I look at investing is I only invest in shares and the S&P 500. Bit of a disclosure there. I do have exchange traded funds in the S&P 500. But that's one-to-one money. It's not geared trading. So, yeah, that too. Okay, but I mean, who wouldn't? So, but okay, 90% shares. So what I do is I look at a share like Nvidia or Coke, or maybe do I have Apple? Probably. There's some here that I might have. Woolworths, Spar, Aspen. I added to Anheuser-Busch because they went down a little bit. You see, I look at more fundamentally. I'm not a big one on news, but I kind of look at companies more fundamentally. So, for example, the alcohol companies were given this thing where they have to put a label on their alcohol now that says it causes cancer or whatever the case. The prices came down on those companies. Now, that's just a knee-jerk reaction. And I look at that and I say, but these companies are still worth the same as what they were, and they're still growing, and people still drink, and they still buy alcohol, and I look at that and I say, well, I've got to add to that investment. But when I invest, I don't trade. So if I buy a company like Nvidia or Coke or Amazon or whatever the case, I buy it forever. Never to sell. Well, let's never say never, because maybe when I get to 70, I might sell everything and just sit back. I might not. But I buy, and every month I add, and I buy more, and I buy more. And any money that I make on trading, I buy into my investments. But the thing with the investments is the only time I'll sell a share is if I see that company is doing bad, and it's really not a great company anymore, and I don't see it as a good company anymore, then I'll take that money and I'll move it into a good company. Now, how do I determine what a good company is? Well, it's out there. I mean, you look at companies like Amazon, for example. You can, wherever you are in the world, you can see that they're growing. You can see that they're selling lots. You can look at their financial statements. You can see they're doing well. Then companies like, for example, that are in my country, if I'm visiting like supermarkets and I see that this particular supermarket's doing really well and it's growing, for example, a Spar or something like that, I look at it and say, oh, this is really doing well, and it's got a great future and that sort of thing. Then what I'll do is I'll invest into that company based on that. So charts don't play a big part in my investing. What I will do with a chart on a company is, for example, if I choose, I don't use these charts to do my investing, but if I did, okay, I would take a company like this, and I would look at where the resistance and the support is, just out of interest, maybe on a daily or a weekly chart. I'd put maybe a 200-day and a 50-day moving average in, because, you know, if the 50 days crossed above the 200-day moving average, it's a golden cross. It's definitely a buy. And if the 50-day crosses down below the 200-day moving average, it's a death cross, and it's a bad buy. So yeah, on that front, I might look at a chart if I'm not sure of the company, if I'm not sure when I want to buy into it, or what the situation is. But generally, investing, I just buy blindly and leave it and forget about it, because I know when I come back to it I knew when I came back to it in 20 years' time that it would be worth a fortune. And that's the truth. That's what it is. Okay, so the other thing is you often, particularly on the South African side, you get good dividend paybacks. So you might, as you know, if you own certain stocks in the market, you might as well have had your money in the bank and get an interest, because you not only is the stock growing in value, but they pay you dividends to the value of that interest payment you would have got from the bank, and that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So that money's for free, you know, the dividend money. But what you got to balance out dividend payouts on companies, dividend yields, okay? Because what you got to look at is some companies are growth stocks and others are dividend paying stocks. So a growth stock won't pay much dividends because they've got a lot of growth space. They're growing, they're investing the money back into the company. And then you get companies that have grown so much, they're just so big, you know, they're like massive. They really don't have much scope for growth, like Coke or whatever, and then they'll just pay you a dividend. They'll give you the money back or whatever the case, and you'll score from that. So investing is a slightly different ball game, but it's a good time to tell you guys at the beginning of the year, you really need to get into investing. So for those of you that are in South Africa particularly, I've left a link for you to Easy Equities. Believe me, I get nothing back from that. I think I get a discount for recommending you guys somewhere down the line on some of my investment costs or whatever the case, which are generally pretty much free anyway. So, but you guys will get like, I think $50 back or something like that if you use that link to invest in South Africa once you put some money in or whatever in that Easy Equities account. And then you can have your own equity account. You can invest in exchange traded funds. You can have a tax-free savings account. You can do all kinds of things with these guys, and that's quite nice as well. So yeah, if you're interested in that sort of thing, then go for it. But investing is so important in your life, guys. I know you guys are looking at the trading and saying, I want to trade, I want to trade, I want to trade. And trading is great, and it's a bit of fun, and it's a nice way to keep your mind on the go and understand the markets, and it teaches you a hell of a lot about finance and the markets and all that. And you can make profits along the way. Decent profits, let me tell you. You can have a good life. You can live your best life. But always have the investment, because at the end of the day, the investment is what pays me at the end of the day. That's where the money comes from at the end of the day, because the investments just keep on growing, they keep on growing, and they keep on paying you. And those, particularly those dividend payments after 20, 30 years, they're just like jam money. It's amazing. The unfortunate thing about those types of things is you do have to pay tax, so don't forget that. Kevin, is Wendy an unofficial admin? Do you want to be an admin, Wendy? Okay, yeah, no, let's hit the like. Okay, guys, hit the like, yeah. Do the like thing. I always forget to ask for the likes and the subscribes and things like that. It's okay, they come. Do you know that we've got 9,000 odd subscribers? That's, oh, seriously. You know, when I started the video channel, sorry, the YouTube channel, I wanted to make 1 or 2 videos because I saw the guys telling everybody that they're going to make $1 million in a day, and I thought, no, I'll tell you that's not going to happen. I started the channel with really, really bad videos. If you go back to the first ones, they look really bad last year, and I've improved a lot since then. I think there's probably still a lot of room for improvement. We can do better, but we'll get there. We'll get there. This is remember, I'm a good trader, but I'm still learning to be a good YouTuber. We'll get to that, and I'm enjoying the process. But I thought I would make 1 or 2 videos, and obviously, when you make 1 or 2 videos, firstly they don't get out there much, and secondly, I just started to enjoy it and started putting it out there, and a lot of guys started coming and watching, and here we are, now over 9,000 subs, and let's head for the 10,000 guys. This is fantastic. Let's get to 100,000 this year and let's have a really serious community. This is fun. But yeah, like I say, when I started out, I never expected it to grow to this size. So yeah, that's marvelous. It's actually great. It's nice to learn something new. It teaches me a lot, particularly about technology. When it was so daunting when I don't know who, somebody asked me and said you need to go live, and I thought, how am I going to do that? The technology was worrying me. How am I going to go live? But yeah, I figured it out quite quickly, and here we are. We're live. So yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting from that first video till now. So effectively, we're a year old now, the channel, and well, it was a channel that I'd opened up a little bit before that, which I'd made a video or 2 on Bitcoin because I was trying to tell everybody that Bitcoin is fresh air. And then I made those 1 or 2 videos, and then I left it, forgot about it. And then last year I said, okay, now I'm going to make a couple of videos about actual trading. And I put them out there. It was about a year ago. And since then, now it's at least 12, 13 months in. Here we are. So not bad. That's pretty good. And yeah, you see, Ben, I'll say doing great, straight to the point, honestly, unlike all the other YouTube Moon Boys and Lambo Boys. Thank you, Rob. And well, the reason I can't show you a Lambo is because I can't get in and out of one. In the corner there, I don't know, you can't see it. There's a little certificate from the Ferrari guys where they took me out on the track, and that was so much fun. And it was Jackie Schechter or whatever his name was, and he took me out on the track in this Ferrari and 458, and it had roll bars and everything in it, and they put a helmet on me and my size, and I couldn't get in and out. I struggled to get in and out of the car, and then I was sitting in the car like this. I was just so uncomfortable. Yeah, I know. Yeah, totally. But yeah, no, that's why I actually made that first video, Ben. It's because of those guys you're talking about. That worried me a bit. I don't like to diss anybody out there. As far as I'm concerned, you can learn from any YouTuber about something or another. There's always some good information that you can learn. But I did get a little bit tired of the guys showing off their Lambos and things like that, and trying to tell the guys that that this is easy, that you're just money's just gonna fall out the sky. And that's what inspired me to make those first videos, to say, well, let me try and show you guys the reality of it. Let me try and show you what the reality is behind this, that it's not that simple, and the Lambos don't fall out the sky. So, yeah. There's a YouTube video of a guy who retired and bought a Ferrari and couldn't get out. He landed up on the ground on the 4-4s. Well, that's pretty similar to what happened to me, Kevin. I landed on all 4s. I struggled. I couldn't get out as well. I remember I had to take the helmet off to get out of that car. No, thanks, no. Yeah, no, not for me. But yeah, it's all in good fun. But I'd like to see where we get to next year. It should be quite interesting, how we grow and how the community grows, and where we end up and where we get to. It's going to be quite interesting. I'll tell you what, is everybody quite happy with the information on the invalidation area today and the 50-50? Are we all clear on that today? Because I went over that in quite a lot of detail now. So I just want to make sure you guys are on it. Okay, good. Good. That's great. So, because I'm trying to go as slow as possible with this, with a training, so that you guys can pick up on it, and so that you can understand it better as well. Because otherwise, I just get ahead of everyone, and I'm not sure if everyone's picking up on it. I know some of the guys out there. I tried watching a couple of the videos, and sure, they get so technical and so confusing, and I'm sort of like looking at it myself, going, I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, what are you talking about? How do you do this? I have no idea. Yeah. Okay, so Vivian, as long as you're understanding and all the rest of it, that's what I want to know. If you guys are picking up on that and everything's good. Got any questions, you just need to ask them, and we'll go over it again. There's no problem with that. You just need to know what's going on. Somebody asked me about platforms last week. Can I show them platforms and things like that? That I struggle with, because I can understand the TradingView platform, the MetaTrader 5 I use. That's my main one. And there's a couple of other platforms that I've worked with, and they're all pretty much the same and similar. But, I don't know everybody's platforms. And that you basically, when you get a platform from your broker, there'll probably be a video from them, or a YouTube video, or an instruction manual or something, and they'll help you and teach you how to use it. And believe me, any broker that you take on, if you take on a broker, don't be scared to call them. There'll be a representative that's assigned to your account, and you can call them and ask them, and they'll help you. And they'll have someone in the company that'll be able to help you with the technical stuff. They'll have someone in the company that will be able to help you with the computer stuff and all that sort of stuff. Normally at a good company, a good broker. So, if you get into that situation with platforms and things like that, just contact your broker. They will help you. They'll set you on the right road. Yeah, how's it, man? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, good. Kevin's onto his third platform, so experienced. You're going to go through a lot of, believe me, I've been through so many platforms in my day, and a lot of them are gone. They're not even around anymore, and I can't, but in the old days, they didn't even have names, Afternoon, Rob, the Lambo comment. Yeah, okay. I started with IG for my demo account and tried to go live with them, but they asked too many questions, so I never went live with them. I believe IG is asking a lot of questions these days. I don't know why. They never used to. But I've been told by a couple of guys now they're asking a lot of questions these days. I guess it's KYC, know your client stuff and whatnot. Yeah, everyone says the same things over and over, and they just so they understand themselves. Yeah, if you think about it, Susan, I do that as well. I say the same things over and over again. Yeah. So trading 212 is okay. Okay, that's good. If you're happy with them, as I say, people often go for the sweeties. They go for the trading, like this trading platform, this is TradingView, right? So there's lots of sweeties on here, loads of indicators and loads of goodies and whatnot. But they don't realize, like, for example, the trading system that we use, doesn't need any indicators. All you need is to be able to draw a line and stuff and have some stuff to trade with. What you've got to look for is what you can trade, what kind of stocks you can trade, what kind of indexes you can trade, and what kind of fees you're paying. And then that's what you're looking for with your broker, and what kind of platform they offer you. Most brokers will offer you more than one different option for a platform, so you can choose. IG were asking about what money you have and proof. Yeah, no. Yeah, Susan, thanks. At least I'm talking sense, yeah. Maybe with IG, because, the account I had with them, I just told them I'm putting that amount of money in, and they were happy with that. But it was a lot of money, so maybe they weren't asking too many questions based on that. But yeah, no, I hear a lot of guys saying now they ask too many questions. So you can't trade BTC or SA at all. That's interesting. Okay. But don't worry about it. So you can't trade SA. No big deal. BTC. Crypto, you don't need to trade it. You know, if it's as long as there's lots and lots and lots of stuff to trade, that's great. You know, you don't have to trade everything. It's not important to have to trade everything. You know, sometimes things will be left out. Do trading 212 allow South Africans to trade on them? Well, that's a good question. I've never asked. Only thing you can do, Vivian, is ask them. You know, go into it and just ask them. Well, there you go. They do not allow South Africans to trade with them. So there you go. Look, the other thing, Vivian, is also look at the situation where choose a broker that's in South Africa. If you're in South Africa, choose a broker that you can speak to. Choose a broker that's close to you. You know, because like trading 212s overseas, Vivian, I use GT247, trade with them. They're great. Fantastic broker. They've been around for so many years. I can't remember if I've had them from the beginning or not, but many years still. And let me tell you, definitely more than 25 years I've had them as an account as well. So yeah, now you can trade with them. They're great. In South Africa. Yes, Rob, they need to engage and start the relationship. What is a good platform that rates swap charges? Or what we need to understand how it impacts your trades. Yeah. You know, in the old days when we didn't have computers and we didn't have all this fancy instant trading and all the rest of it, when we used to phone the broker, can you imagine that the 7-point difference in a trade? You know, these days you can get 2, 3, 4 points, you know, between the buy and the sell. And in the old days, 7, 8-point difference. I mean, it was insane. It's really expensive to trade in the old days. But now it's a hell of a lot cheaper, a hell of a lot closer, and even the trading costs are minimal most of the time. I signed up with Trade Nation yesterday, and they have contacted me one-to-one today and allocated my own personal person who I contact at any time. Generally, that's what happens, Kevin. They have a person that's allocated to you that you can contact and what have you. And they'll invite you to functions when you've got lots of money. And you can go to these things and go to lunches and all the rest of it. It's always fun. Yeah, get someone that's allocated to you. That's always great. That's always a good thing. Someone said, no, Kevin. Okay. Guess you better find out more about that. I've never got into Trade Nation. Come on, Susan. Kevin's busy sweating there, trying to find out what's going on there. Oh no, gee whiz. He's worried. I would be too. I'd be so worried. Oh no. Totally. Yeah, especially if you've given them a lot of money. Oh no. Yeah. Okay. I'm sure everything's fine. I'm sure it's just yeah, gee whiz. But like I say, guys, pick a broker that's in your country, pick a broker that's around you, pick a broker that's been around for a while. Don't choose them based on their platform. I mean, I think GT offers MT5, that's it. But You know, IG offers about 3 or 4 or 5 different platforms, but then they ask you loads of questions like Kevin is stressing here at the moment, Susan. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah. But choose it because it's in your area, that you can meet a person personally. Like Kevin said, now you get someone allocated to you, someone you can talk to, someone you can, you know, deal with, maybe go to lunch with, whatever the case. And it's much better, because if you're now in South Africa and you choose a broker in England, one of the problems with the UK I had was the difficulty the broker had with South Africa, with the treaty, with the money moving between the two countries. So, Rob, do you think me in is okay? Goodness. Okay. Uh, Susan, Kevin wants to know why you said no. He's getting really worried, Susan. You have to tell him why you said no. Um, he's stressing there. You see. Anyway, let's get back on it. Yeah. Hey, these are the trade of the days, guys. This was the trade of the days. So here you see the US 500. I said short at 58. It's at 59. It's not going anywhere. But if it comes down to 58, guys, you've got to watch out for this. That's going to be a good short, eh? I'm actually hoping that it does. So we can get a nice correction down to 55 and then just load up and buy. Just buy as much as you can. Watch it go all the way up again. That'll be good. That'll be excellent. Yeah. I actually found that quite funny. Kevin's really sweating. Oh dear. So, okay, so if anyone knows of a good Canadian broker, I'd love to know. I can't find a reasonably priced broker here. I use TO markets for Forex and commodities. Some products are unavailable. I wish I could help you with that one. I actually haven't really researched Canadian brokers. Yeah, because it really is important to have a good broker close by that's not too expensive. It will also depend on kind of the amount that you're investing and stuff like that sometimes, but a lot of companies will give you a good deal no matter what, based on the fact that you might do well. But a lot of them will look at what you're putting in and base it on that. But I'm not sure what the best Canadian broker would be. Plus 500. There's so many of them, actually. There's actually plenty of them around. But like I say, try and keep them in your country so that you've got them close by. You can keep an eye on them. That'll be useful. I don't think, Susan, are you going to answer Kevin, because he's really sweating at the moment as to why he said no to his broker. Maybe have a look at that. Anyway, there you go, CMC markets. Okay, have a look into that, Lincoln. That sounds good. See if they're any good. Oh, thanks, Susan. Gee whiz. No, Kevin, you're okay. Phew, phew. Oh, well, that was a bit of fun. Yeah. Yeah, you scared the living daylights out of Kevin there. And kept him sweating. Yeah, no. Okay, right. So, the FTSE's going long now. I actually thought it might break down. It's going long now. Dow Jones. See, this Dow Jones is creating a nice flag pattern here. It looks like it wants to go short. That's going to be quite an interesting one as well. Let's have a look at the news. Let's see what's happening in the news. Biden to further limit NVIDIA AI chip exports in final push. Well, that's not good news for the NVIDIA investment. Biden to limit NVIDIA AI chip exports. It's not going to go well at all. What's he got to do with it anyway? Eh? Bitcoin falls as US ETFs. You see how Bitcoin's been falling, eh? Sure. It's really taken a knock, eh? The guys are selling out like you can't believe. Looks like every time it gets to 100,000, the guys are selling, eh? They're selling like big time. Maybe they're trying to get it down so they can buy again, pushing it down. I think the Oaks are just getting nervous when it gets to 100,000. And it's nerve-wracking them. But look at that straight line. It's really in a range at the moment. If it gets down here to 70-odd thousand, then I might look at buying some. See if we get back up to 100,000 again. But as we stand at the moment, I'm not really into buying it here as well. Because it just looks like all the investors are dumping it at 100,000, taking profit. Yeah. She just wanted my stress. Thank you. Give everything to them. Wendy, you made a suggestion. Just make it again. I may have missed it. That's why I want in a BTC. Yeah, it'll be good if you can have it. Look, Kevin, don't forget, I don't believe in Bitcoin as an investment. I still believe they're fresh air. I think they're a Ponzi scheme, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, they're a tradable item. So what I'm looking for is a trade on Bitcoin. I'm looking for a good trade. And if I can get in it around 70,000 and a good trade to back to 100,000, that'll be marvelous. You know, that'll be such a nice trade. Okay, is Fusion Market TD365 okay as a broker? I believe TD365 is the platform for no, TD365, but I believe they're okay. Yeah, we all hope Kevin makes millions. Yeah, just trade it. If we can get a good deal, a good entry, could find a good entry on this, there can be some money to be made there. I actually think so. Some good money. It's a bit like the VIX. You know, some of my biggest wins have been on the VIX. Oh, I'll tell you what, that's a good one. Okay, so what was the suggestion, Wendy? Maybe I've, forgotten it or not sure. I get lots of suggestions, But I know you may have suggested slowly going through the trades with you guys and whatnot, which I've been trying to do. But at this point in the video, I'm kind of not going through that. But I went through strategy today and 50-50 and validation and that sort of thing. But I am trying to go slowly. I'm trying to go slowly with it to keep you guys can keep up. If that was the suggestion. And trying to go through at least in a live video, at least one or two things that you guys can take home with you. And well, today was the 50-50 and why people refuse to believe it, and also the invalidation. Ola from Ibiza, Spain. Welcome. Good to have Spain on board. That's interesting, Kevin. That I always forget that it takes a long time for someone who's not comfortable with the charts to go through a chart, because you become so accustomed to something. So, for example, I'll put a chart in front of me and I don't even need to draw the lines in. I'm just looking at it and I can see what's going on. I forget that, you know, if you're not used to it, it's going to be more difficult. You're going to have to scan it out and check it out and stuff. So, yeah, that sometimes I need to be reminded to go a bit slower and check it out, you know. Slowly do it. Slowly do it. Don't rush. Don't rush. But I mean, if you look at this Bitcoin, it's gone straight up. And now we've got a nice little sort of consolidation here. But what I'm looking at with Bitcoin is, you see, I'm not looking at the chart. What I'm looking at, this is difficult. I am looking at the chart, but I'm not looking at the chart. What I'm looking at is this round number, this 100,000, okay? And what I'm seeing on this 100,000 is every time it gets to this 100,000, the guys are selling. Now, there must be reasons for that, and the reasons are most likely because they're thinking it's not going to go further. They want to take profit because they think everybody else is going to sell, or they think this is like so high that they just need to take profit. So these are real human beings, once again, that when they get to this level, they take their profits. Now, I thought when it broke through here and it went to 108, I thought they would get some confidence and carry on up with the buying, but they didn't. They didn't get the confidence, and it came flying back down again. So it seems like the owners of Bitcoin are losing their confidence at 100,000, and they keep on dropping it off and selling it at that level. You see how many tops you got here? 1, 2, 3, 4 tops at 100,000. That tells you that they're not confident enough to hold it. Okay. Yes, it is at a support area right now. Totally at a support area right now. I think Henry asked that one. Is BTC not at a support area right now? Totally is. And I'm going to show you something though. I sometimes go through the charts, put my trend lines and support and resistance, and then come my findings to you and see where we are. But it takes hours, but you have dedicated time and you want to learn. Okay, you know, if you're sitting and watching the charts a bit, then it's probably good for you to sit and watch the charts a bit. Like I don't watch the charts. If my stop loss is $20, I'll be stopped out more than 50% of the time trading a small account with $2 or $10 stocks. I'll get to you now on that one. The BTC is at a support area, but look at this support area. There's your support. You see that long, nice run up bullish, and then it's kind of just sat in this range. But look at this range. It's very head and shoulder-ish. Okay. These patterns, these head and shoulder patterns, you know, after you've been in the market as long as I have, when you see them, and you see them very easily when you meet, it's like looking at a nightmare, because I've seen this on so many occasions in the past on different, and what I'm saying is it's not just on Bitcoin, it's on the US 500, it's on the Dow Jones, they're everywhere, it's on the NASDAQ. Okay, these head and shoulder patterns are showing up everywhere. Seen this before, and normally after this there's a bit of a correction. So the reason I'm not buying at this point, well, firstly, it's a red candle, and secondly, I'm expecting a bit of a correction maybe. It might not happen because it hasn't happened a few times. It keeps bouncing off this support, but I'm waiting for that correction. I want a good entry. If I trade Bitcoin, I want to make some money. I don't want to mess around with it. So yeah, I'm waiting for a better deal. Waiting for a much better deal. Okay, and then there was Herb. You know, stop loss. Herb, go back in this video to where I explained the invalidation areas and how to pick your stop loss and the 50-50. and just do the stop loss thing over again. And if you don't want to do that, just watch tomorrow's video on strategy, which will give you that as well. Or watch the video before that, which at the end of the video, I go through the strategy over and over again on stop loss. I don't want to go over it again now because it is quite late, but I have gone over it in this video in detail. How to pick your stop loss, how to pick your invalidation area, how to keep your stop loss the same on every trade, and how to make more on your wins. Go back, have a look at that. If you don't want to do that, do watch tomorrow's video, which is coming out, which is all about strategy. I'm not even putting charts up. If you want charts, go back to the video before that, and it'll give you a lot of detail on strategy, because there's a difference between system and strategy. Okay, the system won't make you money. The strategy will make you the money. So, Herb, yeah, I like your question. You know, when you're trading small accounts, go and have a look at that. Go and see if it helps you, okay? No support line drawn on the BTC. No, I haven't drawn any support lines in. You're right. That's probably my fault. We can draw one in. We're going to draw it in on the 4 hour. Just doesn't matter. Okay. There you go. There's a support line. You see, I sometimes forget to draw them in. I don't need to draw them in. I can see that's a clear support level. It's actually breaking through. Interesting. See that? It's breaking through. What if it breaks through? What do we do if it breaks through, guys? Then it's going short down to this level. That's the level I'm hoping for. I'll get so excited if it gets to this level. Money to be made there. I don't want to trade here. I'm not really interested in it because this pattern, I don't like that pattern. Okay. That's just experience talking. Gut feel. You know, gut feel. Okay. I run Java time. Kenneth Payne, I finished my coffee. Rob, you have 30 years of watching charts. I have about 5 months, so I have some catching up to do and lots of learning. So true, Kevin. So true. You know, that's I sometimes forget that. We should grow some accounts together this year using small lot sizes just for more fun. Okay, Wendy, let's look at that. Good idea. Let's do that. Let's do that. That might be a good idea. Maybe I should open a small account. Yeah, I'll think about that. I'll think about that, and then we can do that. Yeah. Let's have a look at that. Hi, Rob. Can you please rob my bank account, please? I'd love to. Yeah, totally. I was the stop loss king. All my trades went the way I expected, but a quick dip would stop me out. With Rob's advice, I learned to set my stop loss much better. There you go. As I said to you earlier, I actually learned that from a friend many years ago who told me to put my entry where my stop loss was. And then I realized how stupid I was being with my stop loss, just like, you know, and yeah, I figured it out. And then I realized, you got to put your stop loss in the right place, man. And then suddenly the light bulb comes on and says, hey, you know what? It's not the system that makes you money, it's the strategy, you know. And Daniel, you're super late to the party. Hope you brought the beer. Okay. We've been waiting for our beers, you know. Anyway. Yes, look at the live traders and then you see. Okay, I hope everyone is doing well. I love the live traders, Susan, because they're all trading on 5-minute trades and scalping, and they're all making so much money. I wonder how they do it. Anyway, okay, hope everyone is doing well. Rob, what are your thoughts on paper trading? Should a beginner start out with paper or for real? Now, paper trading it's great. It's great for everything. It's great for, you know, practicing. It's great for showing people how to trade. It's great for practicing for yourself and all the rest of it. And yes, Kenneth, start with demo trading. Particularly if you go on a course, you're going to do demo trading. I mean, that's just the nature of things. But just remember this, all it's going to do is teach you the system. Once you learn the system, like I said, a primary school kid can learn the system. And I do forget that when we're new, it takes us longer to learn the charts, but you'll learn it quite easily. Practice with that. Just understand that when you get to real money, everything changes. Then you really need to work with the strategy, not with the system. So the system will give you the high probability trades, it'll give you the useless win rate and all the rest of it, but it won't give you the strategy. So once you know how to work the system, then you have to trade with real money to use the strategy, because it's the strategy that's going to teach you how to make money. But practice the strategy on the demo account, because then you'll get a feel for the strategy as well. And then when you get to the real trading, you'll know how to use it. So, yes, Kenneth, use demo trading as much as you can. In fact, what I can't do it anymore, because at one stage, I don't know what happened to it though. On my MT5 with my broker, I had my real account and a demo account together. And I would go to the demo account to check what size the trade would be, because it didn't have a very cool way of checking the size of the trades. I would literally go to the demo account, check how big the trade would be, click over to my live account and take the trade. You know, I would often do that. And then for some reason or another, they took my demo account away, which is quite a pain in the ass. And a demo account on TradingView is useless because they got different trade sizes and everything. So that was a bit annoying, but you know, I used to use it for that, you know, to work out the size of my trade and stuff. It was great. Okay, it's short if it breaks through. It does look like that, yeah. Down, deeper and down. I hope so. I'm hoping that this thing goes nicely, because then we can get a decent trade. You know, I'm not really happy trading from this level. You know, I want a good price, man. I want this thing to give me a good correction, and then we can start looking for a trade. This is just, it's teetering along here, and like I say, I really don't like that pattern. In your opinion, which assets would be the most suitable for a beginner to focus on? Would you recommend stocks, futures, penny stocks, or something else? Also, what time frames would you suggest? Right, that's from Links88. Okay, in my opinion, any asset is fine, except penny stocks. Do stay away from penny stocks. If you want to invest in penny stocks, that's up to you. That's investing, okay? Penny stocks for me are something that you invest in. You're taking a chance on the possibility or the probability that something you know nothing about might do well in the future. And 1 in 20 will shoot to the moon, and you might make money out of it. Maybe never. Maybe you'll just lose them all. The trouble with penny stocks is most of the time you lose. Okay, anyway, my recommendation is never trade on the 5-minute, 15-minute, and 10-minute trade time frames. Those time frames are for people with a different psychology to us. You've got to have no emotion. I actually think you almost have to be a psychopath to trade that, because you can't have any emotion whatsoever or fear. Because you see, the higher you go with your time frames, the more reliable your information is. Because, as I've said to you, the people behind the lines are people. They're human beings. So human beings are buying and selling. Now, what people are doing in 5 minutes is different to what the overall picture is. For example, if you're looking at the success of a retail store, are you going to look at its success over the last 5 minutes, or are you going to look at its success over the last 12 months? If you were looking to buy that business and somebody said to you, come and buy my shop, here's the last 5 minutes sales, you would say, I don't want the last 5 minutes sales. I want the last 12 months sales. I want to know more about this business. Same goes for the stock market. You look at the stock market and you trade on a 5-minute chart, the information that you're getting is very weak and almost a gamble. You really can't tell which way it's going to go There are all kinds of ways and stories that people will tell you that they have worked out that you know which way it's going to go. But trust me on this, 99% of people lose money on that type of trading. And the reason for that is most people don't have the mental strength to take the stop loss. Okay. So they'll trade the 5-minute charts, the win, big loss. Doesn't work. Now, so my recommendation is for a beginner, maybe even trade the day chart, but you can trade the 4-hour like we do. It's pretty safe. You can even go to the day though. It's pretty fine. Position trade, put yourself in a position and go slow. And that will be a good thing for you. What should you trade? You know, don't limit yourself on instruments. It's good to learn about Forex. It's good to learn about indexes, and it's good to learn about commodities. Commodities are very cyclical. What I would recommend is start with the indexes. The indexes are a good place to learn. Move on to Forex, learn with Forex, and then maybe put some commodities into it like gold or Brent or whatever the case. Crypto is a new thing. It's very volatile and very difficult to trade. Okay, so stay away from that for now. It's more volatile than Forex. Forex is also cyclical. It'll go up and down. So I would recommend to you start with all the indexes, maybe go in with all the Forex thereafter. Now, you can also trade shares if you want to. Shares are great. I don't trade shares. I used to, but I don't trade them anymore because I simply invest in them. And I find myself kind of confusing myself by trading shares and then knowing that I'm just investing in them, and then I just tend to pile money into them. And so I've separated the two psychologically, that's all. But you can also trade shares, and they're quite easy to trade as well. Probably easier than indexes and less volatile, but you get nice liquidity from the indexes where you might not from the shares. Okay, but a share, I mean, you can teach yourself by trading a share and doing it on a daily position trade or whatever the case, and following it and what have you. It's not a bad thing to do. Okay. Okay, I'll hit the replay there. Hi. Okay, don't think the markets have just been like in limbo and never really got going after the new year yet. It's been a very limbo December. It's been a very lackluster December. Normally my Decembers are, Santa rally, off we go, good fun. But I think this year the traders have been undecided, with the election thing in the USA, and also just before the holidays, the Fed there said we're not going to cut the interest rates anymore, and that sort of scared people a little bit. So I think people are just a little bit unsure at the moment as to, like I keep saying to you guys, it's not lines. There's people out there, and there's real people with real thoughts and real psychological thoughts, and people are thinking exactly the same way you are. Where's this going? What's happening next? Because when we trade, we're not trading for today. We're trading for the future, whether it be in the 5-minute future, the 5-year future. We want to make a profit in the future. That's what it's about. Okay. Now, I completely agree with what you said. I've been trying shorter time frames for a couple of months now, and honestly, it can drive you crazy. Totally. As I've said, it ain't gonna work because, like I say, the information that you're getting is almost a gamble. It's very weak information, or you're not getting a good, solid a bit of information for you to trade on. Okay, love your channel. Great honest value for a long time trader. Keep up the great work, mate. You can't drum it in enough the way you trade. Thanks, y'all. That's great. I'm glad it's helping you guys. And for the beginners, start slow, please. I'm really trying to do it as slow as possible, but just catch me if I'm going too fast. Thanks, Susan. When I saw how you emphasized stop loss, I knew you had it going on. It makes perfect sense. Kenneth, yes, no, totally. And keep going over that. You see, the whole thing, I try to show you guys the system or the price action and that sort of thing, because obviously you need to know that. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to drum in is that the system is the system and the strategy is the strategy. The strategy is what makes you the money. Once you grasp, the light comes on, you grasp the strategy, that's when you get it. That's when the idea clicks on as to how this works and what it's all about and why you need to use a strategy over and above the system. The system gives you a win rate. A win rate's not going to make you rich. The win rate is just going to send you on a tangent. You're going to spend years going through systems. You know how many times people change their systems? It's insane. It's insane. People will trade on a system. It'll win, and start losing, and then they'll go look for another system because that system's losing, and then they'll start winning again, and then it'll start losing, and then they'll go change it again, and okay, I'm repeating myself now. But what it's about is, it's not the system that's losing. It's you. It's your psychology. Something's wrong with you. So when I start losing, and believe me, it happens a lot, you start losing, then I stop trading, and I sit back and I say, ooh, what's going on here? What am I doing wrong? Am I approaching it wrong? What's wrong with my psychology? Am I going through a bad time? Am I not thinking straight? What have I done that caused this to happen? Because I already understand that it's not the system that's going wrong, it's me. I understand that it's me that's going wrong if something's going wrong with my trading. So, yeah, that's as simple as it gets. And if you keep on watching those repetitive videos, you'll see what I mean. And that's why I keep going over the 50-50. The guys refuse to believe it. And I keep going over the invalidation. I keep going over the strategy because that's the important part. Yeah, so we've been here for quite a while today. And I'm guessing that it's time to move on so you guys can go and get on with your trading if you're overseas, and if you're here, maybe shut your day down. Did I buy? Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, no, I'm just, I wanted to invest some dosh in the brewery. I wanted to put some more in there today, and I thought I'd forgotten, but I did do it earlier. It's fine. It's all good. That's an investment. You see, set and forget, put it in, don't look at it. I actually check my investments maybe once or twice a month just to see how they're doing. But other than that, I don't even look. I don't mind. The only one that I actually see are these three here. I don't know why I got them there. I just put them there. Maybe I was watching them at some stage, but yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. Okay. Kevin's going out into the snow, and I'm going out into the beachy weather. I got beachy weather. It's a pleasure. Always enjoy being with you guys, giving you the time, and it's fun. It's good. It's good for all of our souls to have some people around. You know, as I said many months ago, I said it, trading is a lonely game, and I hope you guys understand that as well. Okay? Trading is a very lonely game. You know, when you find out that you're all by yourself and you're taking this big trade and there's no one to turn to and it's all on your shoulders, there's no one to speak to, it can be quite lonely. It's a very lonely game, which it's really nice to have a community. It's really nice to grow a community and have somewhere to offload, somewhere to speak to. And, you know, when I teach other people, I always love teaching other people. It teaches me as well. It helps me, and it makes me remember and always keep on top of things. If you don't teach other people or give a little bit, oddly enough, you tend to overlook things and you tend to forget things and you tend to move off on a tangent. And when I do that, it affects me as well. So all through my trading career, I've enjoyed actually teaching other people how to trade. Friends, family. I had WhatsApp groups and that sort of thing with people. I used to have a next door neighbor that used to come around and learn to trade because it keeps you on your toes. It absolutely keeps you on your toes. So if you do become a good trader, keep that in mind. It's a good thing to be able to give and teach someone else how to trade. It'll keep you on your toes as well. You'll be surprised. And also it gives you someone to speak to. Oh, 10 inches of snow. Eesh, no, not for me, thanks. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Susan. I appreciate that. Love you guys too. So, it's time to move on and go and do my family duties, I suppose. You want to call it that. Guys, do come and watch tomorrow's video that I've put out about the strategy. So important. That's a really big one. It doesn't have charts, but it is important. Okay, it's a good video, and that will help you as well. Thanks for watching with me today and joining me here today, guys. It's been great. So we're doing another one on Tuesday. I know all of you can't be here for the morning on Tuesday. I might think about moving it from my 9:30 to maybe 10:30 or something and taking it a little bit forward because I understand that, but I just don't want it to be too late for some of you guys on the other side. So, guys, thanks very much for being around. It's been fun chatting to you guys again. Super exciting, or as always. And I'll see you soon at the next live show. And you'll obviously see me in the videos. Cheers, guys. Have a good one. Have a great Friday and a good weekend.